pretty nice news here for Notre Dame. I believe this is transfer portal, at least in the scholarship route, five additions from Notre Dame in the transfer portal. So you got Javontae Jean-Baptiste, you got the kicker from USF, Spencer Schrader, Caleb Smith, the receiver from Virginia Tech, quarterback Sam Hartman, and defensive back Thomas Harper from Oklahoma State. All are graduate transfers, so no underclassmen, and we will talk about one who Notre Dame didn't get in a little bit later in the show. But yeah, really nice get here for the Irish. I wouldn't call this like a big time impact. Like, wow, he's like a 5-star caliber coming in. Like, I think last season he was a reserve role, 19 tackles, 4.5 for loss, 4 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. That's in 13 games, 250 snaps, and those were all career highs. 14 quarterback pressures, according to Pro Football Focus. Best game of the season was against Toledo last year, 2 tackles and 5 pressures. Had a half sack for Ohio State against Georgia in the college football playoff. So, you're talking about a guy who's played 928 defensive snaps, 53 tackles, 8 sacks. So, I think it's a really solid depth piece. Listed at 6'5", 215, and his on-3 profile. Believe, that probably should be updated. It's about 6'5", 250. Maybe that's a high school height, weight, but we'll check on that. But I think he can play edge, that Viper spot, maybe could play the strong end. I think he's just coming in as a defensive end. Get him in here, start classes next week. And yeah, solid depth piece for Notre Dame. A 6-year guy. It's going to be a 1-year rent. I'd been reporting for a while that Notre Dame needed, after Keon Keeley, a Viper in the high school ranks, right? Just that it just didn't work out for Notre Dame to add an extra weak side end, in the 2023 high school recruiting class, and they definitely needed a defensive end from the transfer portal to come in and help right away. And Notre Dame got their guys. From Bergen Catholic in Oradell, New Jersey. That's a high school that it's friendly for Notre Dame. And again, for folks watching here, you got 4 really quality players. And then, of course, the kicker, Spencer Schrader, is a nice get for Notre Dame. But, when you look at Hartman, Harper, Smith, and Jean-Baptiste, it's a nice quartet there for Notre Dame. Drew asks here, what about the DN from Utah State? He and Baptiste visited Notre Dame last week. So this is a kind of interesting. Folks are like, I see a lot of questions on social media and our loose emoji message board at balloongold.com, like why Notre Dame transfer reporting is so quiet. That's like, look, the Notre Dame staff, like they just look, transfer portal recruiting is just a lot different than high school recruiting. It just is. They don't want their business out there as much in the transfer portal ranks. They do in the high school ranks. I mean, why that is, this is still all very new, right? We're still in, going on year 2 Mark Freeman. So I think we'll get more of those answers of why they don't want it out there, but really it doesn't matter. That's just what the fact of the matter is. So Baptiste visited Notre Dame last week. Byron Vaughns was also on campus during that same time, according to what I understand. Vaughns put his business out there like, hey, here's all the schools that have offered me. So at that point, like if he says on social media, hey, I got an offer from Notre Dame, then it's kind of easy to figure out, all right, well, is he going to take it a visit the campus? You can sleuth that out a little bit more. But with Jean-Baptiste, who's kept off the radar, he wasn't putting his transfer portal recruiting information out there. So you go from the last time you've heard the news from this young man was, I've entered the portal, to now I'm committing to Notre Dame, at least publicly. I had known that he was visiting last week, but otherwise, guys, this is just, it's different than high school recruiting. You tell me if this is a crazy little comparison, Trey. Have you seen the show on Netflix, Love is Blind?
A bit. I've seen an episode.
You've heard of it. So it's like, it's a 2-week thing where you go from, you've never even seen each other before, to, being engaged, so it's, and I don't even think they see each other, but it's Love is Blind. That's the whole show. That's kind of how transfer portal recruiting is. It's like, it's a very quick process. And it's also why you can go like in that show, you can go from being engaged to breaking up in like 30 minutes, right? Like it's a very quick thing. It's similar in transfer portal recruiting. You could be the lead school for a young man and then you're out in the next minute. Like things just happen very quickly. You don't have a whole lot of time to waste. I love a good analogy, Trey, and I can't believe I just did one about a Netflix show that I watched with my wife. But that's kind of the gist for me. It's like these things can happen so very quickly and it can be off the radar. Whew, there was a good 5-minute ramble, Trey.